You do this every time.
All the way up.
You never know.
The
red button is always there for me. I don't know about you guys.
No, like soon as we come in, it's record.
No, it's not. No.
Oh, it isn't? Oh,
no.
Okay. I thought it was.
No, I don't do that.
I thought that's how it was working.
No, because sometimes, we don't, we don't be saying.
We say some shit.
We say some shit.
I'm aware. I'm a brave soul.
Not even trust Logan not to put in my accidental slip.
Yo, it wasn't.
Can you stop saying that? Like,
funny thing is, it wasn't the show. It wasn't but it was definitely
JK rolling over here.
You like misoriented someone, or because it wouldn't be misgendering her.
I got two people confused.
Or no, it would be. You misgendered her.
Honestly, it was a little bit more racist than transphobic.
It was a little racist, yeah. Technically, yeah. That's definitely true, actually.
Not funny.
We forgive you because
you're just tuning in.
Yeah.
Claire's wondering when I'm actually going to start the show and where that cut is going to be. If you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Logan, and this is the Milk and Toast podcast. Say hi to people, Mitch.
That's
Say hi to the people, Claire.
Hey guys, how are we?
Oh, I forgot to say that you're my two best friends. Anyways, you guys are my two best friends.
I mean, it's Obi. So.
Yeah. Who else would say things like that?
I don't know if we got any new people. No. If you are new, why are you starting here, homie? Like, go back to the beginning.
Nah, I'm sorry here. It's fine.
I mean, you're welcome, but you don't get confused because there's always context. So
tell them where you can find us, Claire.
You can find us anywhere you can get your podcasts, so Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, and we are also on YouTube, so don't forget to like and subscribe to that. I am still the only standing subscriber on our YouTube channel, so come join me. Come check it out.
Week.
We might. Did you?
Yeah. He did, actually.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I think he and Sarah did, to be honest. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah,
love you.
Stop talking to my girlfriend like that. What the fuck?
She's
You're
not
so jealous of me. You know she loves me. Anyway, we are also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit. We have an email which is milkandtoast@gmail.com. I'm pretty sure it's AND, not N this time. And yeah, come talk to us on Reddit and stuff.
Yeah, we got mad shit.
I'll reply. Yeah, we'll come talk. Love some feedback. Any comments or whatever, we're happy.
Are you guys on Reddit? Are you guys on Reddit?
Yeah, man.
I know, I'm like Are you but do you like follow the show on Reddit?
Yes. That's why I made a Reddit account. The only reason I made a Reddit account.
I was like, oh damn, like I haven't really posted on the Reddit. So I was like,
oh my god, I also followed this page that has dog pics, and it is
dog pics.
If you come talk to me on Reddit, I will share dog pics with you, and it's a good time. Come hang out. I would love that.
A little bit of self-promotion.
Well, it's for the show as well.
Reddit.
No, I'm saying come hang out on the Milk and Toast.
For real. Like, send us like your dog pics, like, and your cat pics. Yeah.
You say the exact same thing, and all of a sudden it's for the show.
Okay. Well, because I thought you meant
Mitchell,
because
did you see
no,
that?
I thought she. What I thought she meant was I thought she
Crazy.
meant send her dog pics like on her personal Reddit, and then I was like,
I was gonna do a whole thing. You didn't let me finish. A, I was gonna do a whole thing where on the show I was gonna rate them. B, you could just jump in and you're all like, yeah, I was gonna be making content out of this, but no, you make your assumptions.
Claire, because
anyway,
you got
that's where you can find us. Come hang out.
Anyways, yeah. I'll talk to you after the show.
We'll go.
Handle business.
Well, how are you guys doing today?
I told you how I was doing today, and I'm not doing it again for the cast.
Well, you gotta tell the people how you're doing, Mitch.
People just gotta know.
All right. Well,
Mitchell's
how
a
you
grumpy
doing?
bum today. I'm good, thank you.
Rename this show
tired.
to Three Divas.
I mean, it would make more sense, don't you think?
There were the Three Divas.
No, just more than Milk and Toast.
One day I might explain the name of the show.
I'm the only person having breakfast on this podcast. Like,
you having milk and toast?
Ew, gross. I don't understand how y'all can do that. Americans are fasty. Stop that shit. Don't eat toast in your milk. No.
I mean, no.
You eat cinnamon toast crunch. Like cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh, God. So good. But you heard about the shrimp fiasco that shook my trust. I'm not going to lie. You don't remember the shrimp fiasco? Bro, you don't remember that? Oh, so Claire, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't remember that?
Why does everybody know this?
It was a meme. It was some dude. He was eating cinnamon toast crunch, and he found what ended up being shrimp tails in his cereal. So he takes a picture and he tries to hit up Kellogg's or whatever. He's like, "Yo, cinnamon toast crunch. What are these?
What is this?"
And they were like, yeah, it's just dried sugar. He's like, what? Are you serious? And then multiple people, scientists, full-on scientists are like, yo, send it over to us. We'll get it clean. We'll get it scanned for you and determine what it is free of charge. And Cinnamon Toast Crunch is like, they were trying to have this man send the cereal and the shrimp back to them, most likely so they could just destroy the evidence. And it turned out this man had some full-ass shrimp tails in his box of cereal.
Yeah, I couldn't. That's why.
I still ate cinnamon toast.
Well, he got free shrimp. What are he mad about?
No, it wasn't shrimp. It was like...
You were, festy. Mother
You didn't see the picture. Oh, God. If you had seen the pictures, I wanted to fight somebody when I saw it.
That shit would not fly here.
Nor should it.
That's weird.
Yeah,
I feel like somebody was just like on their lunch break and they like, oh shit, like.
Nah, he was home and everything. Had eaten a bowl prior. He'd eaten a bowl prior.
A shrimp, and he lost one. You're like, oh
saw
shit.
It the second time. Or like he was in the middle of a bowl. It was like, what the fuck? Like, thank God I didn't keep going for a second bowl. It was so funny. But like everybody was coming out of the woodwork. Like that shit went viral.
I feel so crazy.
I hope he didn't get like sick so because that like you just have like random shrimp in your bowl. Like that's got salmonella and shit.
He ended up good. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't like just have like raw shrimp. Like,
no.
Anyways, we should talk about something.
I suppose. I guess. Maybe.
No. We have a good show because we got good topics, and I wanted to talk about the thing Claire wanted to talk about because Claire wanted to talk about the difference between. Don't let me say because I'll fuck it up. I'm trying to let you guys just say your topics now because like you guys get mad. You'd be like, "That's not what I came to talk about," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
You be saying wild shit like it's like you could like.
Are you referring to wanting
the
to
feminazis?
See, this is why you shouldn't say shit. That sounds
you
bad.
asked me.
No, I was thinking.
All right. I'm sorry.
Logan, you don't need to fill every pause with a sentence.
A little bit on the audio platform. A little bit. I'm just saying. Oh, my God. Why are you guys trying to kill me today? I'm a little hyped.
Why are you trying to live today?
I know. I'm a little hyped. Yeah, I know.
Go sit in the corner. What the fuck are you talking? Go sit in the corner till you know how to act. Come back when you know how to behave your fucking self.
I love Dad Mitch.
Boy, I am not playing with you. You better go sit in that corner.
Anywho, I was wanting to talk about not necessarily the difference, and I wanted to point this out too, because it's not necessarily the difference between feminism and feminazis, but it's more or less the what's the word? What terminology am I trying to use? The issues that arise when we use words like feminazi. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, yes.
It's like another out for the other side, you know? So I was watching something the other day and it was like really intense and I was sort of just like, it's the first time I've ever had the word feminazi come into my mind as like describing someone, because I try and be like, that's not a thing, like, you know what I mean? Like I don't believe in that, like whatever. But it was a lot. So what was happening was it was like a woman and her son was just like being like, for lack of a better word, abused by this woman.
Oh, fuck.
Because he exists. and he has a penis. And it's sort of like this thing where like it was like looking into it and it was like people were commenting and there was like this whole like writing on top of it, how Facebook videos do, about how, women sometimes when they've been harmed before, they will take it out on all men, including their children.
Oh yeah, okay.
And they were talking about how that's not how you raise a good son. That's not how you raise a good guy. That's how you raise a woman hated, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
And that was the first time the word feminazi ever sort of popped in my head, because it was like, she's not like, I know the term feminazi comes from, what's the term? Like,
feminism, basically?
Monetarizing and, pardon?
What do you mean? Oh, wow.
I was going to say monetarizing.
I thought, yeah.
Feminine values and basically ensuring feminine values are uplifted, which is basically just...
You're way too far, Mitch. I don't know what you said just now.
Oh, sorry. I said, did you mean monetizing feminism?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said
monetarizing.
Yeah, monetarizing.
Well, I'm adorable, so we'll leave it at that.
I love Claire today. Claire's on fire. Like, just clear the lane for her right now. All right.
I'm adorable.
I'm really struggling with this topic, though, because the video was not where I wanted to talk about it. But once again, you asked the question, so I was trying to remember the video. But now I've forgotten the other half of what I was trying to say.
No, I kind of get like, well, I was wondering like what was the trigger, I guess,
Yeah, just watching like this woman be an absolute asshole to her child, and monetizing.
It's so nice when it's you guys and not me. Like, it's just like so nice.
Go jump in a hole and drown, Leggy. Anywho, basically the feminine identity, and wanting to like uplift a feminine identity, which is feminism, and that's why I don't necessarily agree with the term feminazi, because feminazi is just a feminism, but that's a slanderous term given by men to diminish or basically slander a woman who just wants feminine things to be equal to masculine things. So anyway, and I was thinking about it and how I just think there's such different approaches to things, because in my life, due to my upbringing and being a woman, et cetera, I have to constantly try and stay impartial when making decisions about what happens in the media, how I respond to people in life. I have to try and be completely logical. For instance, because I have male managers, I have male co-workers, I have males in my life. I have a partner who's a male. I have friends that are male, yada, yada, yada. So I have to constantly be impartial and be like, is he microaggressing me, or does he genuinely just want me to restock the shelf? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because of my trauma, I have to constantly be second-guessing every emotional thing that comes to the surface, so that when I do feel something that's unjust, I can act on it appropriately without it being like an impulse thing and risk my life, basically risk my finances, risk my relationship, risk my friendships, etc. And that's tiring as hell.
Yeah.
Because on top of that, I'm doing the feminist agenda, I'm going out there and I'm speaking my truth, and I'm speaking women's truth, and I'm standing up for fellow co-workers who I can see an injustice has happened to. Injustice at work doesn't really happen to me that much, and I think that's because I'm so confrontational. But it happens to like my younger co-workers, like the 16, 17-year-olds that come through, and I fight for them. I'm like, they're my little sisters, they need a voice. So I just really struggle with the term, but I also get it,
Why do you get it though?
Well, watching that woman made me realize that we're not all just being impartial like I am. We're not all just trying to make the right decisions. And when something bad happens to us, it's like a genuine reaction. You know what I mean? I didn't realize, like I did realize, but I didn't think about how much effort and thought I put into living in a society, you know, how much effort and thought I put into maintaining friendships and relationships with people, you know.
Would you call her a feminazi then?
I don't know what to call her. I think she's obviously a very sick woman who is taking this out on her child. And I don't necessarily, like, yes, that word came to mind in that instance, but I still don't stand by that word. You know what I mean? I still struggle with that term. And I just really, really don't know how to, this is what I wanted to, like, how do you approach that situation with that kind of person, you know, psychologically? Like, how do you explain to them what they're doing is abusive when they're in that victim mentality to the point they've become abusive? Do you get what I mean?
Well, what was she saying to her son that was like,
or doing?
Wasn't what she was saying, it was what she was doing.
She was just beating him and
treating, she was like treating him like a lesser human being. Okay. And when she would speak, it would be things like, oh, he's a boy, so he has to do this. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
what she said. Because, okay. So now I kind of get it, yeah.
Not because she, oh yeah, you get it. Sorry, I was going to over-explain myself and then my brain
you're
farted.
Fine.
Back onto what I'm saying, though. Mm-hmm. I just don't know how to deal with that sort of stuff, you know? And I realize that there are people out there representing feminism like that. You know what I mean? Not necessarily being feminazis, but representing feminism like that, where women are above men, not equal to men, which is what
that's not
the whole fight's about.
That's not
feminism. Yeah, I know, but what is that? What is that?
That's her being a toxic person. And what I was going to tell you, like, how do I respond to that? And I'm like, Claire, you know exactly how to respond to that. You're seeing someone do wrong. You're not right. You have to separate. Sure, she's been through trauma. We can separate the fact that you've been through trauma and deal with that separately, and then have to, in this moment, deal with your fucking toxicity, which is unacceptable. Everybody goes through things. You're not just allowed to all of a sudden decide, I get to be shitty to another human being. I've been jumped before by my own people. I didn't just all of a sudden go, I'm going to go attack every black person I see. That's not how it works. That's not how it's allowed to work. Yeah. We can separate the fact, okay, so you've been through something. We're not going to pretend that isn't the case. You know, we still have compassion. Hey, you know, we could talk to you, but you're not going to just be abusing your child. We're not even talking about a full grown man that we should probably throw in a lake of fire or something. We're talking about a child. Right. They get to, you know, live for a little while.
Well, there was people agreeing with her.
No one cared about me throwing men into lakes of fire.
Well, that's what I would have liked to.
Claire was like, nah, not really. Well, I care. I'm not throwing anybody into any lakes, okay?
You're a good person and I love you. But that's
men, shout out to all the men out there. It's all love, all right? We gonna make it out this bitch. But y'all better do fucking better or I will throw y'all into lakes of fire. Love y'all.
All right.
All right. But what I'm saying is people agree with her, though. You know, like that's what I was saying in the beginning when there was like comments and like writing.
I was trying to wonder what the boy was doing and what she was doing a little bit.
He was just living his life.
What was he doing that was living his life?
He was walking around the grocery store with all her bags and shit in his arms. And if he wasn't keeping up, she was like smacking him over the back of the head and shoving him and stuff. Yeah. And then when she got confronted on it, like Mitchell said he should do, she basically said that he's her son and that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to basically carry all her stuff. Shit and stuff. Yeah, and she's allowed to hit him and push him and when he hasn't done anything wrong, he's just not walking fast enough because he's got like 6 bags, like 6 fucking cans of Coke. You know those cans of Coke boxes?
Right.
Yeah, stacked up in front of his face, you know?
But there's a difference. Like, I used to carry bags people from my
were like
mom
agreeing
all the time.
with that. Well, like, see, that's what I was just about to say. Exactly. I feel like,
there's a difference.
I feel like people, were they like saying like, oh, because like he's a boy, he should learn how to carry stuff for a woman and stuff like that? Because if like that was the comments, yeah, she was shaking her head yes. So if that was the
nodding her head yes, you shake your head no.
Shut up, Mitch. Those are the comments. Like I get it. Mad. I was mad. I get it because like yeah, that's fucked up. It's like that has nothing to do with like anything. It's like you can't just like smack like an 8-year-old or something.
Yeah,
just
because
like
just little.
Okay,
like he wasn't little, but
yeah, it's like one thing you want to teach a kid, carry stuff for your woman or carry stuff for your mom or your sister and stuff like that, and you want to teach them like even like traditional like manners and things like that. But to be like, well, I'm gonna abuse the shit out of him while he's like doing the thing I asked him
because he's a man.
Like, yeah, and then like to agree with that,
like it's really hard to explain us through secondhand, but it's her attitude. Mm-hmm. It's her entitlement to it. It's the fact that like she's obviously like got some real ingrained hate down there, and the way she looked at him.
Explain it all, Claire.
And like her voice, when she spoke to him, there was no light in that. It was all very aggressive and dark and just really nasty. And that's a child, and that just got my hackles up. And like she was explaining herself, and she was like, she used the term feminist, and that pissed me off because she was all just like, what did she say? She was saying like, women need to rise above, and we need to teach our men that out there, like our boys and our men, they're lesser than us, and there's all this really toxic, like basically like hate talk.
One thing I really hate. One thing I really hate is how easy people can get affected by like buzzwords. So like as soon as like you say you're for a thing, everybody believes that you're for a thing. And then nobody has like any type of critical thinking about what you're saying after that anymore. They're just like, well, they said that they're a feminist, and it's like they're not even doing like feminist shit. Or well, they said they're a socialist, or well, they said whatever like thing it is. And then all of a sudden it's like it spirals into this thing where you're watching this person in real time, and then nobody can tell you shit about this person because it's like they automatically believe for whatever voodoo reason that this is, what the person said. And it's and that's always gotten like on my nerves for like whatever it was, because like you're just watching the person do exactly the opposite of what they said. And it's like, why don't you pay attention to that? Why are you just paying attention to the fact that the person said it and ran with it? And then what it does is a lot of times is, I don't want to say it gives people who are the actual opposition an excuse to be shitty, because those people are going to be shitty anyways. But what it does do is it makes it harder for the rest of us who fight for a value or fight for, the right thing. And because then we have to deal with the people that are like, well, see, this person is like, you'll be like, well, see, Candace Owens is a feminist too. And it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like all Candace Owens would have to do is be like, I'm a feminist. And then like everybody would be like, see, she's a feminist, so we don't hate women. And it's just like, you know what I mean? And it's not like they wouldn't do something shitty like that anyways, but it's just like, it makes everybody's day longer for no reason. You know what I mean? And that's what I hate. So like when I was like, I hear that from Claire, that's just what I thought about. It's just like, it's just so unnecessary that people can just like jump right onto something and be like, oh yeah, that's what this is.
I just hate,
like,
I'm starting to hate the term feminism.
Sorry.
Okay, starting to hate. No, you're fine. That was justified. I'm starting to hate the term feminism just because of how many people are bastardizing it. Do you get what I mean? Like,
you see, that's a problem too.
I don't hate actual feminism, and I don't hate.
Okay, cool.
You mean like the community?
Obviously, Mitchell. Come on, like it's me.
you said it, Claire, and I was getting ready to listen and understand, because I was like, if that's how these people have been making you feel, I get that, and I was just gonna say, don't let them make you feel like that. Otherwise, they'd be winning, because that's why they're doing that.
You've got people who, it's getting so much more complicated in the world, and I'm not talking about like an old fart. I'm sort of just meaning genuinely, like,
no, it is. It's
with this whole stuff about like J.K. Rowling being like
transphobic,
a TERF. Yeah, a TERF.
That's what you guys like, call that? Oh man, that's kind of
trans exclusionary. Radical feminazi.
Radical feminist.
Feminist or something. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
I said radical feminazi because I'm talking about this, but yeah. So, sorry.
Yeah, I know. You're fine, dude. TERFs make it hard, and like, you can't say you're a feminist these days without giving some extra context. You have to be like, oh, I'm a feminist, but I'm not a TERF. You know what I mean? Or like, I'm a feminist, but I don't believe in,
I don't think you got to do all that, just like you said to me.
Well, sometimes you do, because I don't trust you. I don't trust that word anymore. I don't trust someone saying to me, you're like,
Well, what you should do is, I feel like you should do like, I feel like this is like a good little accidental topic that I could bring up, because it feels like the same way it's like to date. I was going to say outside of your race, but just date people in general, because like,
what does this have to do with anything?
I'm going to tell. Anyways,
it's not nice, is it, when people do
like
that?
How that feels?
Yeah.
Well, no,
isn't it frustrating when you're about to try and explain, and just before you open your mouth, someone's like, "What does that mean?"
But you didn't do that.
You
didn't do that at all. You went.
What
does this have to do with anything? It was just like.
I'm mad you sounded like that.
I'm mad he got it right.
That's how evil sounds in my head. That's how evil sounds in my head. What does this have to do with anything?
What does this have to do with anything?
Well, anyways, what it has to do with something was basically it made me think of like the qualifiers you have to do when you like date people, and it's like dating a Republican and finding out they're a Republican 3 months later. So like, you don't want to do that. So you end up like asking questions on like the first date, like, hey, what do you think about Trump? You know what I mean? So it's like, and then when he's like, oh yeah, he's great, you're like, time to go. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? So like when Claire brings up like, talking to other feminists and then trying to find out if they're TERFs or not, it's like, it's kind of like you kind of have to like, it's not that you can't talk to feminists, but it's like you kind of gotta like, kind of probe them a little bit. It's like, what do you think about J.K. Rowling? I
mean, but I feel where she's coming from, because that's why it sucks, because she's like, I used to just like, I'm feminist and that's so positive, and now it's like, hey, you want to walk into a feminist circle and here's Claire like, yeah, I'm a feminist. And then there's J.K. Rowling, like, yeah, I'm a feminist.
Hey, girl, I'm here too. And it's like,
people.
Oh, fuck.
And then another fear, I don't even think she touched on this, but another valid fear that I imagine is playing into that as well is like, I tell people I'm a feminist, and what if they look at me and are like, oh, bitch, you J.K. Rowling?
Yeah.
That's
which
is
exactly
understandable.
Thank you for picking up on that. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, I think you just have to be as loud as possible then. Like, you have to be loud as possible about what your truth is and what
your...
Why do I have to be? What if I don't want to be?
Because that's the battle. That is the thing. But that is the thing. Yeah, that's the game now. So that's what I mean. Is like, the game is the game. Like, we can't be mad because the game changes. You know what I mean? Like,
you can do whatever
people say it's like, actually, I think I'm gonna be pissed as fuck about it, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like,
you ruining shit again, people, humanity.
Yeah, but you're like, you're like, why do I have to like change because like they changed shit? It's like, because
whoa. It's not about change. You're not even saying that. You're
well,
like,
I did. I was like, well, you just got to be louder about your shit. You got to be, you can't like let them drown you out. And she was like, well, why do I got to change? And it's like, well, when change happens, we all have to change regardless. So it doesn't really matter if you want to change or not. You don't have to, but like JK is just going to be louder. Like that's what everybody found out about Trump was like in the beginning, everybody was fucking around and it was like, well, I don't really have to vote. And then like Trump becomes president and it's like, we have to live through 4 years of that shit. And it's like, well, yeah, you really didn't have to vote. And then we have to deal with an asshole for 4 years. So it's like, what do you want? Like, what do you want out of the situation? I feel like that was the biggest lesson I learned. What do I want out of the situation? Like, I don't have to do anything about it if I don't want to. But if I did want to do something about it, what would I need to do? You know what I mean? Anyways,
I think Claire,
I was processing.
Yeah,
I think for the most part, Claire, though, because like maybe that's not who you are, but you can't let it get to you more important than anything. Because the fact of the matter is, what you choose to do is your choice. I'm not trying to look
for solutions exactly. I was just sort of wanting to talk about it because I want to know who else out there feels like this. Like Sarah, do you feel like this? Like Kat, do you feel like this? My girl, like. Who out there is also struggling with the concept of how we're ever like evolving without much change.
I respect the shout outs to the community.
Shut up.
I really do. No, I love it. she's like, let's talk to the guys. Like, you know what I mean? Let's talk to the people out here.
Any other girls we listen to, I don't know the names of.
Actually,
talk to me.
Guys
about,
is gender neutral.
Not talk to me, but like let's talk about this.
Yeah,
in the
but
sense
that wasn't
it's like
the time
not
for
much
it.
change is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're still sitting in the same stagnant ass place of like why we did make like jumps, obviously, but we're still moving slowly. We're still stagnant in the sense of how we're going with feminism. But then all these other changes are happening. I haven't finished talking, Logan. Do not interrupt me right now.
All right.
All these other changes are happening for like with terminology and stuff and how we're supposed to be fighting the fight and where we're supposed to be going with this and who we're including in it. And I have no issues I don't want to exclude anybody, obviously. But what do we do from here? Does anyone else feel stuck? Does anyone else feel like not necessarily what's the point, but what's the next move? You know what I mean? Or am I just overthinking this? Because like I was saying before, I try and be impartial to everything and I want equality in general. You know, equality with animals, equality with human beings, equality throughout life. But I understand to get that sort of level of equality, we have to fight things like various different movements like feminism and Black Lives Matter and all that sort of stuff. So obviously those are stepping stones to the equality I want. What's the next move? Like, help me. I don't know what to do. I'm just very lost. I'd love to talk about it. No, that is not the answer.
Sorry.
To every goddamn
I mean, maybe.
Shh. I don't know where that came from.
Well, sometimes you gotta take somebody out.
Might be a real
shit.
Yeah, but who's on whose side? That's what I'm saying. Like, is it the minority against like which minority is it against which non-minority? Because everyone sort of has a little bit of a minority these days. Because if you're white, you might be gay or bi or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the only one that seems to be like the quote unquote non-minority these days is a cis white male.
Well, yeah, but, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, cis white straight male.
And then they better be an ally.
Are they the actual like full enemy?
No,
half of them in Congress and shit.
Even I don't believe that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Do you know who Idi Amin is? People always act like we always look at the American like douchebags. We never go to any other countries. Like, do you know who Idi Amin is? Genghis Khan may have been one of the greatest leaders ever and all that, but I'm pretty sure he was someone Satan somewhere.
Yeah, but he was a cis straight male.
True.
I know, but not a white male.
I don't know.
No, I know, but that wasn't exactly the concoction for the enemy. It was just the requirement.
I know. But the point I make is just like it's just we're noticing that someone's had the power in specific spaces for us as Americans, especially. But it's like we understand there are people who don't look like that who are also the problem. For instance, Candace Owens is just as much of a problem to me as fucking
Jeffree Star.
I'm not gonna say Trump, but like I don't exactly like Joe Biden either. But it's like I don't like either of those politicians. And then here's Candace Owens, a black woman.
You're very finicky about my point. I get where you're coming from, and I think it needs to be said. But I'm just saying, just to wrap it up.
Do you think? Well,
I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Well, you're trying to find the enemy right now, and me and Logan are just
I'm
trying
not trying to find the enemy. I just don't know where to go. I don't know what the next step is. Like, I feel like this isn't good enough. And I don't want to just like, you say, raise your voice louder, fight harder, war. Who are we fighting against? What is the war? Where are we going?
Well, what do you mean?
Happening?
Well, what do you, come on, Superman, make the world small. Like, what is it that we're actually, like, when you say, what is it we're actually fighting? I feel like you could like.
It's just each other.
No, Claire. I mean, you're like, what's the next step? And we have to keep striving for like these positive changes and education and understanding. And it's like I only bring up the enemy because those are the people who fight against that progress. Yeah,
I also feel like this is probably something that we need more than one episode to talk about too. You guys.
Well, this would be a lot in general.
Yeah, I was just expressing my frustration. You two don't have to answer me. You two don't have to like give me guidance. Like, I'm just putting it out in the world. What's happening, you know?
I'm sorry, I'm not good enough now, Claire. Damn.
No,
do you not want us to answer?
You know
do you not want us to answer?
You can. I just don't think your answer is going to be the only answer.
Well, yeah.
You know?
No, I don't think
and I'm not going to accept it as the only answer. And that seems to frustrate you or something. Like, it seems to be a problem.
No, I'm not frustrated. I'm trying to answer is because, like, well, like I said, like, we're the only ones here. You know what I mean? So I get that.
But people are listening.
Yes, but I get that our answer isn't the only answer, but right now it's the answer. You know, that's what I'm saying.
I was just trying to leave it a lot more open.
Well, it's the thing is, it's like,
see, I told you, and it seems to be frustrating you.
No, that's what I don't like. I don't like being open. I'm like, why can't we just have the answer?
Because it's a lot more complicated than that. Isn't it?
I don't feel like it. Yeah, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it's that complicated. Yeah,
you're asking for progression, for like a positive progression, and the only way to truly have that is to keep people moving towards that direction.
Yeah, that's what I feel. That's what I. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah. How doing? I feel like is you're actually like burned out. That's how I feel. Like, I feel like you're burned out, and you're speaking to being burned out, and to me, I would be like, you know, you got to take a time out from what we're doing, because like, even like you watch like a football game, players don't go the whole game. They sit down and then they sit down. Somebody else comes in. You do a couple of plays. You sit down too. I go back in, because you can't drink some water. You can't just go full speed.
That's all good and well.
Every day.
That's great. Yeah. I love that advice. Beautiful for anybody else in the world but me. Because and you can attest to this, like you, Logan, specifically can attest to this, because like I said, we're practically the same person. You're just black and male.
Okay, sure. Right.
I see shit always. Like I'm saying, in the workplace, I see it. I can't not do anything about it. I can't just watch some 16-year-old girl cry because of some bullshit that I could say something about, that I could, educate on, that I could support her with. Right. I can't just not do something. I can't just be like, I need to take some me time and exist in life, because life is always coming at me. I see racism, sexism, bullshit every goddamn day, because nothing is changing. Nothing is working. And that's why I'm burnt out.
Well, that's what I'm speaking to, Claire, is that you might have to. Like, we're not robots. We're not robots.
You already are. Why are we speaking like this? Sorry, that was just for the cast.
No, it's funny because I was just about to say we're not robots, and then we all spoke like robots. We're not robots. Like, you have to sit your ass down sometimes. You might need to unplug sometimes. Like, stay off of Facebook, stay off your social media, stay off of wherever you're consuming the content that you see all this stuff coming at you. For one thing, like, for the spaces that you can control that coming at you, like, you might need to cut those things off. Like, and I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to anybody else who feels burnt out. like, because I felt burnt out before. And there was a time when, like,
currently I just burned out.
I turned everything off. I couldn't do it. Remember, there was a time way back when I would like text everybody and be like, I'm on a phone diet, not talking to anybody for like 2 weeks, and I would like scroll on Facebook like every once in a while, but like for the most part, I'm not on there because I can't like consume information all day, and nobody really should be like consuming all this information that we have like all day, every day. Like, especially if you're not getting paid to do that shit. Like, there's people that are like professional activists and professional things like this. Like, they have grants and stuff to do that. Like, they don't even do it like all day, every day. They take vacations and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think sometimes we carry like the expectation that, am I still? Oh,
yeah,
shit. Oh, no, my headphones died. Anyways, I think sometimes we carry the expectation that, like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Just keep going.
Like, fuck. Hold on. Anyways, I'll finish what I was saying and then I'll try to fix this. Anyways, I think sometimes we carry the expectation that, like, we need to fix everything all at once. But that's not exactly true all the time. What we have to do sometimes is simply we have to be the ones that we have to sit down. We have to take care of ourselves. Just like we talk about self-care and mental health all the time, we have to take care of ourselves. True. We have to sit down, sit one out. The game goes on, but that doesn't mean that you need to go on, you know? So that's just all I wanted to say about that.
But I'm like one of the best soldiers.
Well, we end up I think I know what you said, but you're just human. That's all. You're just human. And we need to realize that we're all human. We all at least kind of want the same things. And for the ones of us that do want justice and we want these things, we have to take care of ourselves because we're trying to take care of each other. And so we're doing all this for humanity. We're doing all this for a real reason. You know what I mean? And it might suck that you might have to sit down, and it might suck that you have to sit one out. But that's just how it goes. That's what our limitations. I don't know how
it's gonna work.
All right, I gotta find another pair of headphones.
No, you're gonna make it work, Claire. It's just because I know it sucks too. I know it's fucking annoying.
Baby! I'm kidding.
Oh my god. I'm also kind of burned out, but it's you do need to get some rest. You're only human. And you are putting in the work that you're keeping yourself a person who isn't them, first off. And you can spread that to other people. First off, that's already fighting against the system, fighting the good fight. You know what I'm saying? The fact is you see these things happening. You want to do something. Next step. And then we go from wanting to do something to actually doing something when we're in the capacity to do something, when we can actually finally fucking do something. Until that stage, you just got to have to keep pushing, man. Get yourself right. Do the little things that you can here and there. And then when you can do things that actually matter to you, do those as well. But in between all of that, like Logan was saying.
Sorry, you go. Finish up with your
No, I was just saying, like Logan was saying, first things first, though, you got to take care of yourself. You can't draw from an empty cup, or you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah. I get that. I just struggle with the idea of not doing anything because I feel like it's one of those things where if no one's doing their drop in the ocean, then there's no drop in the ocean. If everyone's giving themselves the excuse, then...
So, Claire, what if you had to fill the ocean with only your drops by yourself? Would you keep working or would you let the ocean run dry?
I keep working.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I am the only person putting drops in the ocean, Sometimes it feels like...
If you were the last person on Earth committed to doing good, would you still choose to do good?
Yeah.
Would it matter? Do you think you'd be able to tell the difference?
It's very weird because of context, Yeah. If I'm the last person on Earth, I'm not necessarily doing good for humans anymore, but I'm doing good for...
You're not the last person on Earth. You're the last person doing good.
Doing
very
good.
Full Earth. Do you keep fighting, though?
That's a very big difference, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it is. But it's like, that's how I feel about it, because it's like, I get you on that avenue too, but it's just like, it may very well be, like, people are so fucking... It's like how... Like, imagine if you're supposed to be the normal person, but you're surrounded by crazy people, and they tell you you're crazy. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, you came in with the understanding, like, nah, they're all fucking crazy, but all of a sudden it's just you and them, and they're like, no, you crazy. And then it's like, whoa, at what point do you stop? You know what I mean?
Being the normal one, and you stop being the weird. Yeah, no, I get it.
You know what I mean? And we live in that state where it's like, I think I'm doing right, but it seems like, it's like, but what feels proper? And it's like, if that's what feels proper to me, I got to live in that truth regardless. Because I can't be living my life dictated by just the understandings or wants of other people. So, oh man, that guy's struggling.
I know. I'm going to go take a quick... Sorry. You were going to speak again, weren't you? I was going to say I was going to take a quick break, but do you want to say what you wanted to say first?
No, I was just going to go continuing along the lines of, like, not giving up, because that's what really matters in the end. It's hard. It sucks because it's so hard. It's so difficult. But in the end, it's worth it. And that's why you don't give up.
Only took me 10 minutes. Damn.
Yeah, a whole 10 minutes. It's all good. Me and Claire had a good powwow. I was serenading the people with the truth.
What'd y'all powwow about?
That's none of your goddamn business. He was looking for headphones.
Damn.
Yeah, be like that.
I do.
Next time, how about you show up with better headphones with your broke ass? I'm sorry. That was. I
didn't. You know what happened? I just didn't charge my headphones, which I tell you guys to do every week, and I didn't. So
you don't. What are you talking about? You don't have.
Every week I say charge your headphones.
No. I know that. I'm just. Didn't your mic come with the headset? I don't charge headphones because it's just plugged into the microphone.
Okay, Mitch. Let me tell you something.
What?
Your headphones didn't just come with like your microphone didn't just come. Yeah, no, I bought the mic and the headphones like separately. Like it didn't just come like that.
Buy yourself the microphone and some headphones separately so you could just plug it into the mic.
I did
with your broke ass.
I keep trying to tell you, this podcast is put together with glue and paper and like little toothpicks everywhere.
So's an AK-47, bro.
Where'd Claire get to?
She just wanted to take a quick break. And after the topic we just had, I think she probably needed a little bit. So a quick moment to be like, let me take a breather real quick. Because she makes those some very valid points, from the feminist thing to everything now. Because it's literally like, I understand her being distraught with like a term she held so dear and something she identified with, feeling like just slipping away from her grasp. But then we kind of just kept talking about, you know, the fight against like the problems and corruption in our worlds. And then after that, after she left, I just kind of kept serenading the people with like, don't give up, man. Yeah, you'll hear it. Okay. I don't know if you'll keep it in, but it was there.
Anyways.
Now that
I knew that was going to happen. I knew my headphones were going to die. I was like,
I'm sorry you had technical difficulties, bro.
Yeah, I did.
What does that have to do with me, man? With your broke ass.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I was just kidding. All right. But, yeah, man, like, don't give up the fight. Don't give up the fight.
Yeah, it's up for like a Ben hug.
Aww. Yeah, I came back and I was like, really, where's Claire? Yeah, I see that. We should talk about something fun.
Yeah, let's do that.
What do we
Let's talk about, what do we have that's fun? We have, like, you know, fun shit, you know? Like, we could talk about, why do you say,
No, you're right. Let me stop.
No, because you and Claire wanted to talk about the differences between me and you.
The differences between me and you?
Yeah, you guys said that I was like super realistic and you're the idealistic one.
That is not how I put that topic in. All right? You goddamn fucking instigating son of a bitch.
It's content,
the topic,
baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, is idealism versus realism. And I just had me and Logan playing the archetype, and I was going to be idealism and he was going to be realism.
You feel like, who do you feel is more idealistic, me or you?
Idealistic? Definitely me.
Mitchell.
I'm the most idealistic one on the podcast.
100% Mitchell.
I might be the most idealistic person in the world.
That blows my mind.
But I don't feel like getting into that. But that doesn't
matter.
You're
not very idealistic, Logan. I wouldn't say you're a realist. Like, I think I'm definitely more of the realist / pessimist. Because I know I can sort of teeter between both. But you're optimistic.
I'm optimistic. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's so nice.
I could deal with that. I could live with that, you know?
There's nothing wrong with being a realist, neither. I just, I think you're both realists, to be honest. But, well, in terms of me being here, of course, like, but, no, I just thought it'd be interesting because people always tend to, like, come at me from idealistic, like, tendencies because, like, no one really likes hearing about idealism because they're like, oh, bro, that's not what it is. Like, we're dealing here with the here and now, bro. And it's like, yeah, but, you know, how do you think we got to the here and now? Someone was thinking about what could I do to make this better? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I guess maybe we'd still be in fucking caves, you fucking troglodytes. So go crawl back into that bit. No, I'm sorry. That was rude. And I didn't mean to get like that. But I didn't mean to get like that.
No,
but I just think it's an interesting conversation piece.
The only problem, let me turn this down. The only problem I've ever had with like, idealism is when somebody gets to the point where like you're no longer talking about anything that's rooted in like what's going on or the problem. And like, you're right. Sometimes we need people who talk about the problem in such an abstract way that like it is the solution, but it's just like ahead of its time for being the solution, you know? So it does sound like very disconnected from what it is we're talking about. But at the same time, I think that's what I have a problem with. Maybe other people do too. But like I have a problem with not being like in context for what we're talking about. Like if your solution is so far out and it's just like, then it just becomes unrealistic. Like I don't have a problem with ideas and idealism. You know what I mean? No, and I think that's why Claire said I'm not like realistic.
No, because, she's like, you're optimistic. And I'm like, no, I get that. Amazing. And this is why it was so funny when you was like, I don't know why Mitch wants to come at me. I was like, oh my God, it wasn't fucking about you.
It's a compliment.
Like, it wasn't about you at all. It was just like, I think it would work in terms of the convo. But like I said, it could have also just been me and Claire doing it. I just felt the banter would have been more.
Oh, you feel like we should play the roles? Like one of us should be the thing?
I literally said that. And I just thought it would, the banter between the two of us would have made more for an entertaining show than between me and Claire.
What's the script, Mr. Director?
There wasn't any script. The script read me.
Are we doing improv on the show?
It wouldn't have been improv. I'm not asking you to actually fucking get into character, bro.
I'm like, okay.
No, it's just think about what each means. So, and that's why I also said like I could do realism, because one of my biggest arguments and why I get so mad when people get mad at idealism is because you can't be idealistic. You can't get to an idealistic space, not a true one at least, without accepting the reality around you. That's why you're thinking on the ideals to make the world better in the first place. So it's just, but what you said is fair.
Right.
Because you're like, oh, when people get to the point where it sounds like they're almost getting unrealistic, as if they're talking about fantasy, okay, that's understandable. Because fantasy is entertaining and all that. But if there isn't some grounding for how this can actually help people or make our situations better, why are we discussing it? Are we just here to entertain ourselves? That's nice, but did it help the problem? Which is fair. But it's like, you couldn't imagine being the Wright brothers, you know what I mean? Sure, you understood you had this dream, but you first remembered that if I was going to fly, maybe I had to learn how to make that work before we just died jumping off this fucking cliff.
Right.
You have to accept the reality that there is gravity, that according to what nature has dictated, only birds fly. Everybody around us seems to think we crazy in this motherfucker. You know what? All right, but we can fly. Yo, bro, we can fly. I know we can do it. All right. That's ideal. Ideal. But now how can we fly? How do we make it work?
How can you like follow through with that ideal? How can you turn that ideal into reality?
Exactly.
Yeah, I struggle with all of those concepts of idealistic, realistic, optimistic, pessimistic, because I feel like no person is just one of those things. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you can have a core to an extent. Like, for instance, my core is probably realism. But due to my depression, I really do lean towards pessimism.
Pessimism?
God damn.
She knows how to say it.
No, I don't. Pessimism, but sometimes I'll be really optimistic about a situation because something will have happened that will have gotten my hopes up or have you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Certain situations I can be optimistic about, but as my core, I'm realistic. But you know, I can sort of vary. You know, and I can be really idealistic about like, I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head because my brain is just not working.
I mean, you did just come off a really tough one, and this is also kind of a tough topic too.
It's not that tough. It's more just like my brain's like, no, I don't want to do anything. I'm like, well, we're still doing a podcast, so you got to do something. And my brain's like, yeah, nah. You know what I mean? It's not hard at all. Come on, brain. Like, you got this.
Yeah, but I agree with you, though, because, like, you're not trapped in a bubble unless somehow you were trapped in a bubble. All four of those, like, idealism, pessimism, realism, optimism, you're not just kind of sitting on one the entire time. They all still affect you. I mean, and then you're meeting other people who are at their core one or the other, you know what I mean? Regardless, and that's going to affect you and rub you one type of way. It's just, my point is just how do we like navigate, these things? How do we go from making an ideal real, or how do we keep ourselves grounded so we don't drift into fantasy off an ideal?
Do you often struggle with that?
No, because I don't talk like, I know what I'd like the world to be in some fantastical way because I reach it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in that world. But when it comes down to
idealism is your core.
Yeah, but when it comes down to brass tacks, no, I know, I'm just fucking around. When it comes down to like brass tacks, like even when I'm talking about like the ideals that I want, I'll still be grounded enough to be like, I know what people should do. It's just that people probably won't do it. But then even from there, it's like, all right, well, if I think further, we could start figuring out and breaking down processes that could potentially get people to work in a way that would be ideal, or building and shit that would be ideal. It's just tough because whenever you're speaking in idealism, you're like almost being an entrepreneur who has only $200 to start with, and someone wants to come and take $100 off top for no reason, and then you might be lucky if you keep the rest.
Well, that depends on how you run your business, but yeah, sure. I mean, like,
says
damn,
the realist.
like
Anyway,
somebody come and take 100 off top. I want to know why you taking 100 off top.
And see,
right
you
now.
made it a business transaction. I was just having you just getting fucked. Someone came and robbed you.
Yes,
You was just
that's
like,
how I feel
like, run your check. So you gotta like, really, why you gotta do me like this, man? I
Like,
just got this
that
200.
dude came in and took half.
Yeah,
Half of what you got?
Didn't negotiate half. Just came and took half.
Took it.
And that's what it's like to.
I'm like, you gotta go kill him. Like,
Yeah, no, facts. Yeah. Run me my shit. In an ideal world, I'd be going up and be like, you gonna run me my shit back.
you gonna run this shit
You
back.
gonna run that shit back right now. But I don't like drift off into being fan, because like at the end of the day, I want my ideals to be reality. I want people to understand that it was never me going crazy. Y'all just been fucked up the entire time because y'all have been.
Just make
Go
it
get
real
some
then.
fucking help.
I got the same advice for you I got for Claire. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Which is what we're working on. But as Claire mentioned earlier, it's like I also am burned out, and it's like not because I want to stop focusing on the ideals. It's just like what I'm currently dealing with and living with has affected me to a negative space, because I am also still living in my reality.
Right.
Do I aspire for higher? Of course, but I also recognize the fact that I still ain't paid my rent this month. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Fuck me, man. Shit, I can't see my therapist for like a fucking month.
Right.
Or even start seeing them. That's the reality.
No,
and happy thoughts
real.
might keep me good, but the reality is, if I want that help, I'm gonna have to wait for it. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that. Like,
For the
I get where you're coming from. I'm not trying to be combative. I'm saying
okay.
that,
I'm
like,
what?
no, just from like when I hear that, like, when you say wait from it, that was the trigger word for me. Is that like,
okay. No, I get that.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying now?
I just
Is
meant
that,
the
like,
therapist, but like, yeah, I get
no,
you.
not the therapist. Yeah, the therapist.
No, I know you're not. I know
yeah.
you weren't talking. That's what I was like. I was only talking about the therapist.
Oh,
but
no,
like,
yeah.
But nah, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like,
But no, like
you can make it
certain
happen.
things, you gotta like kind of just do it, make it happen. Like certain things you just kind of gotta do. Like when you're talking about like ideals and you're talking about things that you're like, well, I'm the only one that thinks this thing, and I don't want anybody to think I'm crazy about it. Like sometimes you have to kind of like be out there in the field, like tinkering yourself, and it's like, well, what are you doing? I'm trying to fly. Like, it's like, okay.
All right, buddy. Come on.
Yeah, like you might have to like be out there building the plane by yourself until like, somebody sees like what you're doing and they're like, oh shit, he might be flying like soon. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Because
everybody
like,
wants to cut.
Yeah, and then that's when everybody wants to cut, but that's also when you get your help. But that's when, when the idea really starts taking off, that's when you really need to like know what it is, what the fuck you want to do with it, and that's when you really get focused. But at the same time, not at the same time, but like what I'm trying to say about that is that you just can't go off of what other people think about your shit. Like if you have a great idea, you just gotta do that shit. Like you got a great idea and you don't have the money, you need to find somebody who has the money, or just wait till you do have the money. You know what I mean?
Or go rob somebody if you got to. I didn't. Never mind.
I don't mean.
I didn't mean that.
I told you after the show. Anyways, what I was trying to say is that like I wouldn't like you can't just like wait around for like good shit to happen though. Like that's the one thing that will kill an idea is like you have this idea. And if it's yours and you feel like you're the best at it, like you should go and do that. Don't wait for other people's permission to do some shit. Don't wait for other people's approval to do some shit. Y'all got me preaching on the podcast today for no reason. Don't just wait
for like for shit you want to do. Like,
don't wait for some shit. Like don't wait for other people to do your shit. Like it's yours. You know what I mean? Sorry. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Claire?
Sorry. I was gonna just be like out of the blue. Have you ever thought about being a preacher, Logan? Like a pastor?
Yeah, he had to. He had to at one point.
Why would I have to?
Because you're such a Christian boy sometimes.
Fuck you.
He speaks true. He speaks the truth.
You had to at least.
I don't think I can.
You could be one of those like Zoomer masters. Like,
I only thought about
the jeans.
And like, I only thought about it once ever, and that was because of my dad, not because of me.
Kind of like a stand-up comedian, but also talking about God like a lot.
No, that's actually legit how it would get done. Not a single serious moment would be had, but everyone would feel Jesus in the room.
I can't do that. Like I can't be. I would. The only time I've thought about it is like when I was in church and I didn't like the sermon. But that's I go to everybody's job and think I can do it better. Like that's just my ego. Like I'm not like I can't actually be a pastor. You know what I mean? Like,
do you really believe that?
Yeah, because I'm not palatable.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
You're right. You're not palatable.
Yeah.
You're easy to absorb.
I'm not. Like, I'm gonna like tell you some real shit, and like you're not gonna like it. So
Logan will be getting in fights with the parents at the church because their kids the kids will be like, "Well, Pastor Logan said," and they'd be like, "Yo, Logan, you need to chill." Be like, "Fuck y'all, man."
Read the book. Be like, read the book.
You better understand this scripture.
Y'all gonna learn today. They're like, well, we don't know if we're gonna be back. I ain't asked you to come in the first place. Like,
like that. And all is welcome, and all can get the hell out if they so choose. I'm just okay. Yeah, so like this wouldn't
just
work.
turn it to a whole.
You know what? Yeah, it wouldn't work. You know what bothers me though? I was I forgot where I was at, but I passed by like, I guess this really big church, and like they had the sign and the name of the church on the, like in the driveway or whatever. Right. And I'm not putting anybody on blast, but they had like the name of the pastor, like underneath the name of the church. And I was just like, I thought that was so gross. I hated that so much. I was like, why do you need the recognition of being the pastor of this church? Like, you know what I mean?
On like the plot of land?
That's interesting to me because in where I live, I was going to say my town name, but I'm not going to do that. Where I live, they do that all over the place. Like I was driving through a specific suburb of where I live. And
which is where again?
I was driving past this church, and it just said I had the like pastor's name and all the details and when like the sermons were happening and stuff. And then we went through another bit, and it was like more of it, like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of churches did that. Like a lot of Christian churches specifically did that.
Yeah, I hate that.
The Catholic churches sort of have more of like the old world buildings with the like nice stained glass and shit, and they just have your generic ass service from 12 till 3 or whatever. I don't know. Obviously,
I just feel like the pastor shouldn't be like the reason you go to church. Like that just seems wrong. So like if like you're going to church because of like the dude that like talks at the church, that feels kind of fucked up. Like it feels like you should just you should go because of the lessons that like or whatever or like you know.
Wouldn't the pastor be conveying those to you?
The pastor is supposed to be a vessel.
Yeah,
he's not supposed to be he's not supposed to be like the celebrity of the church.
Which isn't what I'm saying. I always saw it
more as like just like this is who's like doing this today. Because a lot of the churches around where I live, I don't know if it's different to you. I mean for you. But like a lot of churches where I live have like intermediate, like different pastors or
for
whatever.
different things. Yeah.
For different, like, I keep calling them ceremonies. They're not ceremonies. Sermons and shit. So
not too far.
Yeah, but just walk in the church. That's how you find out. Like you like.
Yeah, but what if this old lady's like, I don't like him. He's black.
Then don't go to that church. You can't be like, hey, we got the really great pastor. He's the celebrity. Like, like we got pastor. I was about to say a pastor I knew, but like,
so here's my only thing, because I'm not trying to make it like a celebrity thing, but it's like, all right, so you keep listening to artists you like because you like their music.
Right.
Now, do you have to idolize them? No, that's kind of gross.
That's
true. You're
true.
listening to them because you like the music. So I know where you were coming from. The only reason I was like, yo, hold on, because like maybe the person isn't concerned about the pastor themselves, but if you're consistently preaching the message in a way that moves their spirit and that helps you get closer in your relationship with God, how I'm going to tell someone they want to keep going back to that dude's church?
No, you shouldn't. No, I feel like no. See, that's the problem. I feel like that, like the music example is valid because like you go to a Jay-Z concert to see Jay-Z because Jay-Z wrote these words, but the pastor ain't wrote that shit. So
yeah, but what about like when I was growing up? So when I was growing up, I was baptized Catholic, and I did my first Holy Communion. And when I did my first Holy Communion, no, my first confession and my first Holy Communion, but what I'm talking about is my first confession. When I did my first confessional, there was like 4 different priests that you could talk to, and you had the choice to talk to, right? And I chose the one that was like the main dude that went like preached at my school. Right. Just because I knew him and I didn't want to talk to anybody else. So I went and talked to him. And my whole bit is like, I still had a preference out of 4 priests. I still had someone that I felt comfortable talking to. And I think maybe this is just like the modern, like I'm just debating for the sake of debating. I'm not saying what you've got, your point is wrong. But on the other side, what if it's just because like they have favorites? Like people have favorites and everything. And it's not necessarily a celebrity thing, but it's more like that person just feels comfortable with that person. What if like after the fucking sermon, they have
they're not and
they want to confess some stuff and they want to talk to that. I don't know.
Okay, I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying.
Catholic,
but Logan's saying you should favor God. Favor God.
Well, yes. Okay, listen, if you're in that realm, and because we're talking about it, if you're in that world and you're in that realm, yes, Mitch. And the second thing is that
I'm not saying is a problem, by the way. Jesus.
What the other thing I'm trying to say about what Claire had to say was that yes, you can have a preference of pastors. That's not like necessarily the problem. The problem is when pastors
Joel Osteen's the problem.
Well, yeah.
That motherfucker's the problem.
Let me say what I'm going to say, and then I'll talk about Joel Osteen in a second. So, like, it's like when a pastor, like, has to exalt himself so that you know that this pastor said this, and this is that pastor, and this, like, I hate even, like, the celebrity pastor model where it's like, we know this pastor is this, and, like, Joel Osteen or, like, whoever could be the name, really. It doesn't really matter. It's like they are the draw of why somebody's going to church, and that's just wrong. It's not supposed to be like that in the first place. Meanwhile, they're like making gobs of money, which is also wrong. They shouldn't be doing that either. Off of what they like to say is like their book deals, but like they have people from all over the world giving them money in tithe, and it goes into their pocket so they can buy like an Aston Martin and stuff. And that's not what tithe is for. That's not what the money is supposed to be allocated in the church in the first place. That's not what any of this is supposed to be. And so, yeah, I always have a problem with that when I see like people that are trying to emulate that model and trying to be like, well, this is our pastor. And like, and it's really not even like people that are doing it so much as like the pastor has a choice because he's the leader of the church. He could just as well say that, no, this isn't what we're doing. I'm not the reason why people should be coming to church. Don't put my name there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the reason you should come to this church regardless if I'm here or not, because the church is trying to like say the word and give good guidance to people. You know what I mean? And that's what he's supposed to do in that leadership position. But then when he just like makes himself the celebrity and makes himself this like famous guy that happens to talk about God, like I have a problem.
Joel Osteen.
Yeah. And so like when we talk about Joel Osteen, like you could be like, well, what's the problem with that? Doesn't like this person, like they have a massive platform and they use it to bring people closer to God and all that. But then like when you look at the same people who are doing this, like Joel Osteen, like they had a hurricane in Texas and Joel Osteen wouldn't even open the church doors to let people in to like weather the storm out. And he had to get shamed by like the local
and then
news.
Got on for an interview.
Yes.
And then got on an interview and was just like, hey, listen, if we would have let those people in, you know, and the flood waters to come in.
Yes.
Like, it's like, I mean, I get that, but you're a church, not a corporation.
He said if they would have.
Or are you?
He said if he would have opened the church, the floodwaters would have came in through the church. And then they took pictures of the church. The church was above sea level, and like there was no water in the church, no water around the church. He just didn't want people in. He didn't want a bunch of homeless people or whoever to be in his church, smelling the church up and whatever. And that's just so like it's like like now we know what the reason is for these things, you know. So I just like I hate the celebrity model. I just hate that. I don't like that. Now you guys got me ranting about it.
That's fair.
Yeah. So that's why Logan can't be a preacher.
Yeah. Don't be blaming us for shit you want to get off your chest. Like, hey, man.
Well, no,
obviously you think that church model isn't ideal. Oh, no one caught what I did there. That's fine.
Y'all want to talk about Simone Biles real quick?
I'm always ready to talk about that one. Whenever anybody wants to talk about it.
I don't know what that means.
Let's talk about the black woman so nice in gymnastics who was doing so well. They started banning moves because she was doing them so amazingly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that one.
I feel like that's the main, like, okay, so like the other day, Simone Biles had to pull herself out of the Olympics because she cited mental health reasons, right? But I feel like the main reason is like she said, like there's a lot of pressure on her and everything like that. But like the Olympics have made such a big deal about her own presence by saying that like we're gonna not allow you to get points from moves that you do because basically you're too good for the sport. That you kind of,
which that means she wins.
Yeah, that means you win. For anybody
you
that
don't even need the fucking medal, you won.
Yeah. So like for anybody, I feel like if anybody was going through that, they also would just pull themselves out because what is the point of me being here if you're not going to score me correctly? You know what I mean? If you're telling me that my life's work has led me up to the point where I can do shit that nobody else can do when everybody else had the same amount of time to go and do it, like, why do I need to be here? You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that she didn't remove herself from mental health reasons, but I really do believe that like plays a part into it when you're telling somebody that like their life's work, a big chunk of it can't exist in
and
like the sport.
They're good at it too.
Yeah.
Like this, and like she'd know exactly why.
Yeah.
She'd know. Yeah. She's not stupid.
Yeah, and that's also,
how dare you insult her intelligence like that? How dare you? Like, I hate the Olympics. And you know what? The more and more it goes on this year, I hate it more. Like, I've always had a disdain for it. But the more and more I fucking see as I get older and older, it's just white men swinging their dicks around and getting mad at people who are actually talented because they're more talented than them.
Hey. Like, it's actually more black men swinging longer dicks to show that they're talented.
Yeah, but that's what they hate. They hate that. They can see.
Yeah, I know. Say it
like,
again.
Oh, you're more talented than me, hotter than me, have a bigger dick than me. No, you out. No, I'm not going to count your points. You out.
This is wild.
Yeah, this ain't where this is supposed to go, but I'm liking it. Yeah, let's keep going in this direction.
You know what? I don't give a shit.
Olympics XXX.
Come to me, Olympics.
Yes.
You know I ain't shit. I know I ain't shit compared to the Olympics. I'm just going to state my opinion.
No. I mean, but I agree with, because, you know, and it's all based off the Coliseum. Don't get me wrong. Like, I couldn't even watch the Olympics after all the bullshit.
Bullshit metaphor.
Like,
no,
like
that doesn't make me want to watch. That doesn't make me want to watch when you like disqualify somebody for being too good at the sport. What is that?
No, I'm not gonna. We just got crossed. I'm just bringing up the fact that
are you talking about the
Olympics in general? No,
I know. I'm fucking with you.
I'm just saying, like the Olympics in most sports, regardless of the respect I have for athleticism and athletics, are kind of based off the Coliseum model, which is kind of like barbaric in a sense. And now it's like you see shit like this happening, and it's just like, what's the point of even watching now? Now you've gone even further, and you just made me have full disdain. Sha'Carri Richardson can't run. You're taking points away from Simone Biles. Is her name Biles or Biles? Okay,
Biles.
Probably Biles. You're not letting people with Afro-textured hair wear swim caps specific to them. What the fuck reason I shouldn't even be supporting you. What the fuck am I caring about you people winning fucking medals and shit? I don't care to watch any of this anymore.
And that's
like, you keep having this disrespect for humanity.
They wanted to be the Nazi Olympics again. They wanted to be like the first one.
This is my problem. And it's like, all right, keep playing. All right, keep playing. You forget we make them Olympics. Personally, it's about that time. America needs to stop fucking around. I guess Black America needs to stop fucking around. Yeah. And we gotta...
Yeah, just pull out the fucking events. That's what they should do. They should pull out the events. Don't go. Just don't go. Just like,
we should have for real blacked out the Olympics this year is how I felt. Should have straight up no one go at all. And just had,
if they were gonna,
all the regions set up a fucking event.
Yeah, when they started all that.
These people have been training their whole lives for this. I just want to say, like, I get where you guys are coming from, 100%.
I know.
But these people want to be representation. They want to be a part of it, and they've trained for years. Like, you have like several years, several years of training.
Let me say something real quick, because I understand what you're saying in terms of the Olympics, but you're not realizing what athletes actually train for, what they're actually after, and why the Olympics mean what they mean.
Recognition?
They don't train for the Olympics. Athletes don't train for their respective awards and all that shit. Keep that in mind. They train to be the best. But as long as you have a space to prove that, it doesn't matter whether it's the Olympics or not. You can prove that anywhere.
Listen, because like the Olympics, the Olympics provides a certain type of platform where they're like, this makes you. Well, you can't just tell people to just create a new platform.
Here come that bullshit.
No, that's not the bullshit. No. I think it's the bullshit to be like, well, you should make your own, because like. I swim or I run laps. I don't make like
they should be included.
Like I don't like make a platform.
I'm not necessarily speaking directly to just the athletes.
It's not working.
I'm just saying when you think about it, the athletes, they have all their teams, the globe, the world over. It's like, here we are, the Olympics is acting up. Here we are, Black America, Black Africa being like, yo, what's going on here? Like, don't get me wrong. It doesn't have to be. And that's the thing. People are like, oh, the Olympics. It doesn't have to be super big. And these athletes are used to running at track meets where barely anybody would come but their family just to prove that they're the best. You can have that spirit, because that spirit's all that matters.
No, because not when you're a competitive person. Like when you're an actual competitive person to the level where you
can make it about winning still anywhere.
And it doesn't.
No, not to that level. Because what the Olympics is, the Olympics takes the best of your respective sport or whatever in the world, and you have to compete with that.
You're running with the Sha'Carri Richardson, one of the fastest women. Usain Bolt, one of the fastest men's. Like, yo, I'm not going to the Olympics, but I'm running here. You want to prove your medal? Then we race here.
But you would have to make a platform. That's what I'm saying. You would have to make a platform.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it would be easy. I'm just saying we have all these resources. We have all this technology. We wanted to make a new thing that wasn't the Olympics. We could make it happen. It's not even that.
That's going to take time, though, and that's the unrealistic thing about it. Is that's going to take time and support and
money
and money. Lots of money. And it's
the funny thing is,
it's like it's a very simple concept, but it's not a simple execution.
No, it's execution, which is fair.
And unfortunately, like even if we started working on that right now. These people are still training to want want that gratification. Like, that's not giving Simone any gratification for all of that hard work she put in. She deserves those medals. She deserves those points. She deserves that recognition.
But she also still recognized, and she left.
Yes, no, like I get where you both are coming from. Like I get where Mitch is coming from.
We're not necessarily on a different page.
I'm just
no. I get where.
I think we're on a different page at all. I'm just trying to explain to you.
We're glitching, by the way, guys.
Sorry.
No, we're glitching. I'm gonna turn my camera off.
You're glitching the worst.
I'm sorry.
Claire's not glitching at all for me.
Anyways.
He just freaked out. He just had like a freaking autistic ass moment there. OCD moment, whatever.
Anyways, like I was saying.
Don't hear me wrong. Don't hear me wrong. I get what you're saying. It wouldn't be an easy thing. It's just that when you look at this blatant disrespect and disregard, and for me, and as a black person in America, it's like, as a Haitian man, as a descendant from a Haitian man, a strong Asian man, I hearken to revolution, and it don't start easy. You know what I mean?
No,
Boycotts
it doesn't. But not everybody is a revolutionary, and that's a big.
And not everybody's willing to do that. I get that, but someone has to make this. People have to make the stand. I'm just saying, if Simone, for instance, was like, "Yo, I dropped out of and that's why it's not that it would be hard. It's just execution. But if Simone Biles is like, "Yo, listen, I don't want to go to the Olympics. I'm not working this out." And a few gymnasts, a few like powerful gyms got behind him. Their respective teams with their resources were able to find a place, GoFundMe, whatever, and just be like, "Yo, we're not doing the Olympics. We're holding a world gymnastics, turning competition here instead." Bro, I'm telling you. Like, we like to think it sounds so unrealistic, but I'm telling you.
That's not the unrealistic part. No, that's
that one specifically is not hard.
No, that's not the unrealistic part. It's not that nobody could ever make an event that is as big as the Olympics. Like, we watch Facebook outrun MySpace, and then we watch, like, big companies just destroy what we thought was always going to be. All the time, and so the Olympics is no different. And I think, like I was kind of saying last week, was like, I feel like the Olympics, whether they know it or not, they'll lose relevance. I feel like their greatest shield is that they only happen every 4 years. So that's a lot of time for like somebody to forget. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I feel what Mitch is saying, that like, there should be something that somebody should come along with that's just as big. Because, like, if you had an event where you invited, like, the best athletes of the world to do it, and they not people would come, but if you actually got them to come and you actually got them there so that they could compete on a level that was global like that, just the same way FIFA does with soccer or whatever. That would be earth-shaking. That might give the Olympics some type of competition, which the Olympics, I believe, at this point does need. Because if you can just blatantly treat your players like that, you've kind of forgotten where your money's getting made. Where your bread is buttered.
For humanity at this year's Olympics, just a blatant disregard.
Yeah, it's really disgusting. It's really disrespectful to like the players that are involved, and like to the people who are like competing. That like you can like just change anything you want to at a moment's notice. And then like I think I heard something today where like somebody who was a gymnast was actually like, they were promoting, it was either a gymnast or another runner, they were promoting weed or something, like a dispensary or something. They were like a sponsor for it or something. Like that was okay, but Sha'Carri like smoking weed wasn't okay. I have to like figure out the story like a little. Yeah. But
bro,
I know it's a real story because somebody read it to me this morning from like PBS. So it's a real story. I'm not just like making the shit up. But like that was the double standard. You know what I'm saying? So
Logan,
I'm
let me find out there was a dispensary on the Olympic grounds this year.
It's not that there was a dispensary on the Olympic grounds. There was like, the person was promoting one. They were like promoting like a weed, like dispensary or
sponsored by the Olympics?
No, the Olympics weren't sponsoring the person, but they let them compete still yet. Even though that they were like, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Claire, you looking it up?
Somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody.
So like that's the type of shit. Like it's really blatant, and it's like just it's like
blatant.
So like I don't blame Simone for like dropping out, and like I feel like I don't think her mental health isn't affected by it, but I also don't think that like she should be the one or have to be the one to say like, everybody follow me, we're out. You know what I mean? Which if she did, I don't know what would happen. And I don't know that everybody would leave with her. But I feel like people should think about, like Claire said, like these people have been training their whole lives to go to the Olympics, and you probably have been. But you should probably think about, where it is you're competing in the first place, I think, and whether or not it is worth it. I'm just reading. Yeah, there's things we have. Did you find it? Read it.
She's white as hell. She's so white. Like,
tell us what's going on. Tell us what's going on, so I don't sound crazy on the podcast. I don't want to be like Alex Jones right now.
Gotta love Claire.
So, for the first time in the Olympics, 125-year modern history, elite athletes are being open about their use of cannabis products to prepare for them for the world's biggest stage in sports. Leading the charge is Olympic gold medalist and U.S. soccer women's national team star Megan Rapinoe.
Megan Rapinoe? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Who incorporates CBD into her training routine using products from Mendy and a company founded by her sister Rachel.
You gotta be
and
kidding
some guy
me.
named Brett. Mendy's founders started the company to create a brand of hemp-derived cannabidiol, so CBD, products that provide athletes with natural wellness solutions to help them recover better and perform at their best. And while Mendy has assembled a team of top athletes as brand ambassadors, there's a picture and they're all white as fuck. The company hopes to tap into the market of consumers looking for a natural approach to health and wellness. We really believe there is a movement and a flood of people wanting healthier alternative medications. They don't want what we typically have been prescribed in this country, whether it's over-the-counter meds, prescription opiates, sleeping pills. Sorry, my laptop just went all funky because an ad came through. This is site.
Fuck them ads.
So we want blah 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 blah. We don't typically have been prescribed in this country where it's over-the-counter meds or various other tools to help with stress and anxiety. So we want to give people the healthiest option to stay on top of their game longer, specifically positioned with athletes. It goes on, but basically the gist is you can only smoke weed in the Olympics if you're white.
So is Megan Rapinoe, is she competing this year too?
Well, the soccer team isn't, right? Wow. But they just lost to who again? Didn't they just lose to somebody? I haven't been paying enough attention.
I'm not gonna get on top of Megan Rapinoe about this, but
yo.
Even though I'm not gonna get on top of her because I don't know that she agrees with all this, and I also don't know whether or not she was in support of Sha'Carri or not, and I don't want to be a dick and be like fuck her, but that's really some bullshit. I'm looking at something right now too, and it's just
holy fuck, man! Geez, black people in jail all over again. But white people get to have dispensaries. Ain't that nice? How nice?
Yeah, that's just okay.
That's so nice. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. Is just nasty. That's just nasty shit,
bro.
I am. Yeah.
See, I know a microaggression when I see one.
That's not even micro.
Right?
That's macro as fuck. That's an aggression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's just an aggression. Yeah. That's just aggressive.
It's just I was trying to use you got what I was. Never mind.
I feel like that's what Mitch is kind of saying. It's if you want to have your white Olympics, have your white Olympics. If you want to have the Olympics where all the white people can collect and I feel like people should really just be honest about it and be listen, this is what's going on. This is what's going on with the Olympics. I know everybody's trained for this for your whole life, but this is what it's turned into now. There's got to be a break point where yes, you've been training for this and maybe it didn't look like this when you were training, but this is what it is today. You know what I mean? So you get there And like, you should probably make a decision about that stuff. And like, there should be something that's different than the Olympics so that like athletes could like have an alternative. You know what I mean? So so that they would have their white Olympics, and then you just have an Olympics that's just like actually fair. Like, it doesn't even have to be called the Olympics. It could be called something else, but it has to be like, you know, like, what if you made something that was just actually like fair and like people actually got to actually compete? You know what I mean?
I wonder if the Commonwealth is any better.
What Commonwealth?
The Commonwealth Games. It's just for people who are under England. Give me a second.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do some fact
I didn't
checking.
know that was a thing.
Nah. But that's why we're international.
Yeah, so it's like Canada, Australia, England, friggin' a whole bunch of other countries.
Canada's all
because it's like under the like the Queen's, like, you know, rulership
she
and
doesn't do
shit.
shit, but it's like a whole standing thing.
It's her shit, but not her shit, you know.
Yeah. It's more the Commonwealth shit, which is the
What is
name
a Commonwealth? Is that like basically like...
It's a Commonwealth of Nations. It's an intergovernmental organization. So the Commonwealth of Nations, generally known as the Commonwealth, is a political association of 54 member states, almost all of which are former territories of the British Empire.
Oh my God.
The chief institutions of the organization are the Commonwealth You know what? I can't pronounce that word, so you're going to have to Google it yourself. Which focuses on intergovernment aspects, and the Commonwealth Foundation, which focuses on non-governmental relations amongst each member.
Okay.
Oh.
And the Commonwealth Games is an international multi-sport event involving athletes from the Commonwealth of Nations. The event was first held in 1930 and, with the exception of 1942 and 1946, has taken place every 4 years since then. The Commonwealth Games were known as the British Empire Games from the 1930 to 1950, and then the British Empire and the Commonwealth Games from 1954 and 1966.
Oh, no. I ain't watching no British Empire Games. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep it a buck with you right now. I know.
Like,
it just feels
I
like
wouldn't have been back then. Nah, if I was a black person alive at that time, they'd be like, yeah, you try to watch, the British Empire Games? And I would have looked at that person and been like...
there are black people in the Commonwealth Games because there's black people in England.
Yeah, in the Commonwealth Games, were they in the British Empire Games?
Oh, I have no idea about that.
Yeah, I highly doubt. But
the past is in the past.
Anyway, but no, Claire, I was gonna ask you though. But in those games, they have like traditional sports traditional to the Commonwealth, right? Like stones or something, like picking up stones and stuff. Isn't that a British thing?
I love that. How cavemen do.
No, but that's a real thing. I think it's really cool. They have like the actual stones. It's a strongman
like
competition.
Throw logs and shit. Yeah,
no.
I know
You
what
have
he's
to like
talking about.
pick it up, and that's some real.
They do
if they're doing shit like
too.
that, I don't mind. That's like that makes sense.
Yeah,
traditional to your people, to your culture. I could understand that.
Sorry.
Seriously, like
I know what Claire's laughing about. I know she's laughing at.
British culture is just grabbing a whole bunch of innocent idols.
I Yo, I ain't doing this with y'all right now. I'm not doing this with y'all right now.
Colonizers, I love it.
I didn't do this at all. I don't know where this came from, but I'm not doing this with y'all right now.
I knew exactly where Claire was going with that.
At all. Dang, just queued me up for the setup. How dare you? But anyway.
I was like, damn.
Baby,
this is going to be bad.
What kind of games do they play, though? Because are they like that, or... Are they like regular?
Yeah, there's one
stuff?
like it's similar to the Olympics, like where you've got your like shot put and your javelin throw and yada yada yada.
Oh, okay.
But then they've also got lumberjacking and just random crap.
I'd be all in for the lumberjacking. I'm not gonna lie.
It's pretty similar to the Olympics. It's just Commonwealth exclusive.
Yeah.
Who's in the Commonwealth? I have no idea. I know I am. Like my people,
Canada and Australia and like
that's the only ones I know. That's like two, bro. There's like 54.
Well, isn't it also like South Africa?
Probably Ireland.
Yeah,
I hope not.
that's true. Under the Commonwealth. Yeah. Let's learn together.
You gotta take South Africa back then.
Australia, the Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Canada, Grenada, Jamaica, New Zealand.
Also like mad shit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There are black people in the Commonwealth. Honestly, probably more than the Olympics when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because they can't send more white people. Hey?
I wanted to switch gears.
That's understandable.
Yeah, that's fair, right?
That makes sense.
I was like,
let's do that.
Like, we're talking about white people a lot.
But to move on and segue, Olympics 2020. Fuck them.
Fuck it. Yeah, this is where we need video, so I'm going to just be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it up, Claire. Fuck it up.
No, I was going to wonder, because we're not going to get to everything today, but that's okay.
I don't think so.
Well,
we've had some good discussion.
No, we was talking about motivations earlier. I wanted to go into what motivates you guys. I see you guys
right.
not
but
very
remember,
motivated today, but
What do you mean? We showed up and put out, man.
No, I mean, I know everybody's not feeling
no, I mean, but that's life. But at least we could come here. I mean, it is good to see y'all. Just because I had a shitty day doesn't mean I have to bring my shitty day here. And just because I'm feeling shitty doesn't mean I want to make you feel shitty.
Aww.
Shut up, Logan. No one likes you anyway. But I told you one of my greatest. Well, there's a lot. I mean, it's not that it's a lot. It's just the scope of it. Because it's I would say my motivation is God and divinity and what that means to me. Because God doesn't mean God in the Abrahamic sense to me at all. Mm. In fact, it closer means goddess, but it just feels more normal to say God because people hear goddess and they're like, whoa. And I'm I don't feel like getting into this right now. I know it's goddess. You don't need to know that. But then it's I'm a little pantheistic in one sense too, where I just believe because I've studied so many different cultures. And
so that's what moves you in the morning though?
Divinity? Yeah, man. And I was telling you about ideals. Well, I mean, it's the start, and then we break it. We come down as above, so below. And we flow downward to where we're actually at. And we get up and it's what do I want to do? What motivates me? I know I want to be a better person. I know I want to make the world a better place. And then there's my own personal desires that I want for myself. I'm an artist and I know I want to produce great art. I know if I go into a job, even if I think it's shitty and it's fucking with my mental health and it's agonizing as an artist due to the fact I still kind of want to do well at the job to help whoever I'm working with. We shouldn't be suffering here if we can get through the day and get out. And it kind of flows like that for me.
What about you, Claire? What do you feel like? Do you feel motivated? Do you feel what makes you go, basically?
I have always struggled with the concept of motivation just because I've never felt motivated to do anything in my life. I believe that other people have that amazing little life skill called motivation, but so that's always I don't know, it's just a brain chemistry thing for me or what, but I've always just had to force myself into doing everything. I don't know if I'm just a naturally lazy person or what, but I guess the main motivation for me has always been money. Money. Sorry, I'm just in my head it was
well, you're a Capricorn, so
that's what it is.
Money. Anyway, I'll just stop doing that bit. That's not even funny.
It was kind of funny.
I like it.
Mitch was always so nice to me. I love him. But anyway.
Oh. I love you too, yo. Shut up, Logan. Oh my God. Sorry.
So yeah, money's probably always been my biggest motivation. But that's just survival, eating food and having shelter and
why do you feel
other
so
than that
unmotivated? You think?
If I knew, I would tell you, friend.
Well, I mean,
depression.
No, well, because sometimes I feel you can be just unmotivated because you're unchallenged or you're not in the right place or it's for me that's well for me that's what it is a lot of the time. It's I
know, but what, I believe in that mumbo jumbo bullshit right time.
It's not mumbo jumbo. Theory, baby. It is mumbo jumbo, but don't disrespect the mumbo jumbo.
For a reason. Everything is just random. Nothing matters.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Fuck.
Yeah, do you see why I'm so sad all the time now?
Yeah, change your mental.
Although I imagine what the fact is, Claire, you probably have lots of things that motivate you. You just don't think about it a lot. I mean, you were like food. You're like, I like to eat.
Yeah, but that's all money related.
She means
food money related?
No, she means outside of just like basic survival, though.
Yeah.
No, I think you enjoy a good gourmet mood.
No, listen.
I couldn't.
I think Claire gets motivated by like helping people.
Me too.
Like anytime like somebody needs help, somebody like around her needs help, or like her family needs help, or her friends need help, she like all of a sudden that spark like hits, and like then she's like really like she'll give you all the time in a day. Like she'll even like if her tank is on E, she'll give you some time. So like I don't know if you're completely an unmotivated.
Claire, that's why just a motivational preacher today. Look at him.
I can't stand
this episode is called
Claire.
Preacher Logan.
No, it's not.
It definitely should be.
It has been said. It's been said.
Preacher Logan. Preacher Logan.
That's gross. Anyways,
I also get motivated in
tormenting
people.
In tormenting people, yeah.
Yo, that was great.
Okay, calm down, Claire. No.
Let her live a life, man. Let her live a life.
I'm motivated. I'm happy. Look at me enjoying my life.
A little too happy.
Aren't you proud? You're proud of me, aren't you?
Anyways,
Don't you take away from this moment. Don't you take away from this moment right now, you motherfucker.
Was that like you say you're unmotivated, but like I feel like I asked you that question because it's like I think there are certain things that you just like you're motivated about, but maybe you just don't practice all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You got a point. When you said that, I thought back to when I was like late to class one time and almost fucked up my like whole year because some random lady fell in the street and hurt her leg, and I stayed with her until the ambulance came.
No, that's so great though.
I mean, helping, that's a great thing to motivate as well, wanting to help people. Like, that's valid. I mean, even the pursuit of money motivating, like as sad as it feels on one end, the fact of the matter is we live in a society where you need it. And if that gets you up in the morning so you could have, wealth, financial stability, that's fair.
I think you should have other motivations than money, though. I feel that.
Me personally,
no, that's some spiritual bullshit. You need money to live, survive.
Why? Yes, but like for that to be your sole motivator is probably not the best. It's all good
and well to stay when you have money.
I don't have money.
When you don't have money.
I don't have money.
I don't have enough money.
Don't look at me like that, Claire. You know I don't have no shit. Like, come on.
I know you have more than some.
Not really.
I know you have better opportunities.
That's not true. What I have is I am willing to forego a lot of shit for myself so that I can create other shit around me. So like when you like, and I know what you're referring to. You're like referring to like my laptops and stuff and all this and that. But it's like I saved the money to do that. Like I really
but if you needed to, you could sell that and buy it and like get food or a home or whatever. If you needed to, have
but I would probably never do that. I'd rather starve.
You could.
Yeah. Why would he do that?
Yeah.
That's his choice. Like I don't give a shit what he does. I'm just saying he has more than some. He has more than someone who has nothing in their pocket.
No, for sure. No, I'm not trying to say that.
Well,
I'm not trying to say that. But like, I'm not.
That's what I was trying to get to.
Oh well, yeah, but it's not like.
Homeless.
But I'm like, I'm like, I don't even have a job right now. Like I'm like, come on. Like I don't have like
this isn't
money like that.
Logan has a pity party session. This is just explaining how it's easy to say. You don't need money in life when you have a roof over your head. You have food being provided to you, whether it's from your own money or other people.
No,
and you have collateral that you can sell to make sure, like you have a backup plan. You will always have a backup.
I'm not saying. Well, hold on. Yeah, I get what you're saying now.
I thought you said
I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not saying that you don't need money. I would be the last person to say that. I am not saying you don't need money. What I'm trying to say is that
you technically don't, but it's very hard.
Mitch, stop. What I'm trying to say.
All right, you're right. I'm not gonna go.
See, that's how much I'm not saying.
Go live on the street for a month, Mitchell, and then come back and say that.
Well,
please.
see, if I was trying to live without any money, I wouldn't be living on the street.
Why?
We'd go live like them Indian men building fucking hot tubs in their backyard with nothing but fucking.
They're so sick. I love those guys.
Yeah, you love them. They don't need any money.
They
don't need any money. They're just out here just like living the way nature intended.
Watch those videos.
No, like, that's not dude's bit.
Just saying.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you don't need money. I'm saying that should not be your sole motivator. Like that shouldn't be the motive. Like the reason you get up. Not survival. You should survive and you should want to survive. That's not what I mean.
In our society, you know what I mean? Money equals survival.
Like
that's just how we work.
I understand
do survival
that.
skills if you still know how to do any of that shit.
I think you should
don't play with me.
Well, like what I said before, like what I said before, Claire, you're motivated by helping people. That's something that is greater than yourself, and that's an actual thing to strive for. Money comes and goes. So like to say that money should be like your motivator, money ain't friendly to you all the time. You know what I mean? So like you can't really rely on money. Like you can't rely on money.
Friendly when I'm eating that steak, but okay.
I mean, if you wouldn't,
if you're good at making money, you know what I mean? Like not everybody's good at making money either. So that's what I'm saying. Like
the only thing is how it's the biggest scam.
I actually I don't think we have time for this topic this way, but I actually do one day want to have have a conversation about like how much people let money run their lives. And I think that would be a really good thing to talk about.
Oh
because
we don't have the time, but yeah.
No, we don't have the time for it. I'm looking at the time now. We got to get out of here soon. But like, I do want to talk about like how much people let money run their lives and how money can kind of consume a person. Like
Logan,
if it's like the only thing, it's a problem.
Once again, money is the longest running scam in human history.
You think it's a scam?
It is a scam.
Why is it a scam?
Because you don't actually need money.
I don't know. Some people greedy as fuck. I think
no, and it's not. And hear me out. I'm not saying that I don't understand how the concept of currency work and why it works. It's the biggest long running scam because if human beings, because I studied the Kung people in South Africa, and so when humanity develops, we all start in these nomadic tribes and whatnot, and here we are working, and then we spread out, and shit starts to get strange as we begin to expand and get bigger. And all of a sudden, instances of currency and systems of trade and stuff are initiated. But originally, people settle together and are like, yo, what's the village need? What do we have to do to make sure the village runs? What do we have to make sure to do we run?
But that's different.
Is eventually
you're talking about like
it's not that different at all.
It is different if you're talking about a singular village with a singular culture and a singular
You're taking the example.
Ideal.
You're taking the example and focusing on that, but that's not what I mean. The fact of the matter is,
it just seemed like a pretty big part to focus on.
I mean, it's just an example. Because yes, I get the fact that as you expand, it doesn't work as a village anymore. But what we'd never talk about is why. What happens in between thinking, hey, let's support each other and make sure we're good. And hey, we need to wheel, deal, and backstab to get as much currency as we can from the person I was just trying to help.
Because you're talking about as you expand, you need different resources to live and survive. And like as you expand to different areas, maybe your resource is copper, right? You have a lot of copper, but you don't have a lot of meat here. You don't have a lot of good hunting here. But like the people who have a lot of good hunting, they need maybe copper to like hunt with or whatever. So like you have all the copper and they have all the meat. It's like you guys get together. You know what I mean? So like now we can trade. But at the same time, this is where I live and this is where you live. And so I don't want to live. Maybe if I don't want to live in a place where all the copper is, but I want to live in the other place, I need something to trade. I need something to like live off of. I need some way to live that way. So I can't say that, there's no reason to have currency. There's no reason to have money that like we just all willingly just give each other everything all the time. Like that's not I don't want to say realistic because we keep saying that, but I don't think that's even feasible.
No, that's
what I mean.
The word. Oh, I think it's easily feasible. I just think humans are trash. No,
it's not.
For that exact reason. Because like it is really that simple though, Logan. I mean, you're a Christian at that, so you understand why in one sense, even though we won't go there. But like it is really that simple. Oh, a person was in need. Did you have to give to them without detriment to yourself? Oh, cool, give it to them. But we get into this attitude where it's like, nah, what can I get out of that person?
I don't think
our egos get involved.
Even Christianity does not say like you would give so much that you would like starve yourself. Logan.
Exactly, and I just said that. If you could not giving to detriment to yourself, because I'm not trying to take it that far. It's just that ego gets involved. At some point, ego gets involved in a very heavy-handed way where a person goes, "What's in it for me?"
Well, yeah, I think that. Beyond even what's in it for me.
That's the only reason money's really functions the way it functions.
Even beyond what's in it for me, like you get to a point where one day you just deal with an asshole.
Yeah, like, that's also true.
Like today we was looking for we was looking for apartments and we're texting the realtor that like, you know, for this apartment and he's giving us one word answers in the text and it was like, my guy, do you want the money or not? That like, don't fucking play with us. You know what I mean? So it was like, you're a dick. The only thing that we have in common is like the money between us at that point, because some people are just dicks. You know, how do I trade with somebody who's just like an asshole? You know what I mean?
Nah.
Do you want the lemon or not?
Yeah, do you want the lemon or not?
No, bro. You remember that?
I know I want your mango, but you ain't giving me a mango. I'm trying to give you a lemon for it.
You
remember
a lot
that? To trade.
You remember that scene in Dark Knight where Alfred was telling Bruce, he was like, yo, I'm trying to find some motive, and Alfred's like, damn it, you stupid fucking Don and trained all over the world and doesn't realize that, you know, some people don't care or have motives. They just want to see the fucking world burn.
Right.
And you don't realize how long that's existed.
Right.
How long some people just really don't give a fuck. They just go mad. I mean, fucking Caligula in Rome. Well, that's because of incest and shit too.
But nonetheless,
yeah, it's a lot of like fucked up shit.
I was like, that is so not a very
big jump. I shouldn't have made that big a jump. My fault. I shouldn't have made that big a jump. I apologize. That was way too big a jump. But nonetheless, like, you know, some people just want to see the world burn and they fuck up other people's opportunities. And I personally think that, I mean, Logan, you would call it the devil and sin and all that, but
don't tell me what I would call it.
All right,
do you remember when we were talking?
All right, so anyway, so some Christians
like,
would call it the devil and sin, and I would just say it's like that toxic, dark side of humanity that they're not willing to rear and do something about.
Y'all want me to be a preacher so bad, like
nobody asked you to be a preacher.
We were talking, guys on the podcast. But guys listening to the podcast. So we were talking one time, and we were just having a good old chat amongst friends. I can't remember what we were doing, but we're doing something. And then I was like, sometimes I think Logan genuinely thinks I have demons possessing me. And I have to try and explain to him it's just mental illness. And then Mitch was like, oh, to him, that means the same thing. Do you remember that?
Oh, my God, I remember that. And I was so fucked up.
But it's true, though. And
that's
Logan
not true. Don't say that to people.
Logan likes to sit here and think that he's not like a massive Christian boy who's all like fire and brimstone. I hate, you know, demons, yada, yada, yada. But he also is the same guy who's like, I can't watch no, it wasn't The Purge. It was like Annabelle or something because of demons. Like if demons are too real.
Annabelle was too much.
No, I can't have that energy.
Doing too much devil
I
shit.
can't have that energy in my house.
That in my house.
No.
Exactly. So he's out here saying he's not.
I watched Annabelle on a plane. I watched Annabelle on a plane. I was like, golly, this isn't good.
Thank God it's the plane.
I said, thank God it's the plane. You know what Mitch was funny about that?
No, you're supposed to watch Annabelle in your house and Final Destination on a plane. Come on.
It's funny you both said that because like I was just thinking about it now. I was like, I watched Annabelle on the plane. I was like, this is too much devil shit to bring into my house. But I brought it on the little plane where like the devil like
it's gonna stay on that plane. Like
I'm 30,000 feet in the air and I'm releasing like demons into the plane and shit.
Like all of a sudden the pilot, you just get an overhead from the pilot like, attention, passengers. We're all taking a ride to hell.
Yeah. I'm like, oh no. What have I done? I said, Attention passengers. Is anybody watching Annabelle? I just
Is this doll sitting next to me?
This is doll sitting next to me, and my co-pilot is spazzing out right now.
This can't bode well.
I told him not to put the movie on the plane. Shit.
But
this is why they only have those weird ass friggin' like what is it like knockoff Bridge to Terabithia and shit on the plane. You know how they have like
yes.
What the fuck? Knockoff Bridge to Terabithia?
That movie would be terrible.
Yeah, bro. Bridge to Terabithia wasn't even that amazing.
Thank you for saying that. I love you.
Isn't Bridge to Terabithia just like My Girl?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's My Girl.
I just meant that era of movies.
Doesn't she die because of like bees or something or peanuts or something?
No, that's
no in Bridge to Terabithia. Yeah,
I know she dies because of bees. Head. Can you listen? She falls and cracks her head. She doesn't die from bees or peanuts or nuts.
Oh yeah, she did.
She gets head trauma.
That's a stupid death too.
You know
what? All stupid. But that was my point. It was like knockoff like crap kid movie. It's not even like the crap kid movie. It's like the knockoff.
Pan's Labyrinth is god tier.
That was good.
I do like Pan, but you can't show that to kids.
This day I hate eyes on hands. I have this like actual phobia. This is real talk. I have this actual phobia of body parts not being where they're supposed to be. And where there's like, you know what I mean?
That's good to know.
And it gets real orkies because there are some like disabilities out there, you know, where things aren't where they're supposed to be.
Like what?
And I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to call anybody out.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. But no, I was genuinely curious. I'm like, wait, there is? You can just like...
Just Google it. Also, watch the movie Skins.
I'm not doing that.
Anyway.
Immediately, I'm like, I'm not doing that.
But that just it conflicts so much with who I am as a person, where I just want to like love everybody and have like equality and shit. And I'm also just like, but also... don't look like that.
Claire's like, I don't mind. Claire's like, I don't mind if you have your rights. Just have them over there.
Yo, she straight up did that though. Thank God we didn't talk about it.
That's so fucked up.
No, I'm sorry.
It's like that. It is what it is. I can't help it. I just have like, it just makes me feel gooby and scared. And it's because of Pan's Labyrinth. This is where this started. It's because of the goddamn eyeball hands. I had nightmares when I was like 5 after watching it. It just fucked with me.
When you said that this is a real problem in the world, that's what I thought at first. I was like, there's people with eyeball hands? And I had to like correct myself in my head. I was like, no, Logan, that's dumb. And I was like, and then that's why I asked you, because I was like, well, we need to ask Claire about this. I was just like...
No, there's just some situations where I just don't want to be disrespectful to anyone with any conditions. I'm not going to point out any specific condition, but there are just some conditions where some things just aren't in the right place.
Oh.
And it just fucks with me like a lot. And I've never met someone in person like that, but I'm so scared for the day that I do. Like, what if they're a client or something? Like, I'm going to...
Just say that, you don't think you're the best fit for them. That's what.
Wow.
While not gagging is the key.
That's what my therapist always tell me. They always be like, I don't think we're not the best fit for you. And I was like, well, thanks. I still have depression though. So what we gonna do? And I'm like, nothing. Bye.
That'll be $5,000.
Yeah. Right.
But you didn't even help me. All right, fine, 6. Get the fuck out of my office. Oh, man.
We've got time for one more thing.
A small one. I want to go to sleep.
Do you want me to just do the NAIDOC thing?
Do you want to do the NAIDOC thing as a big thing, or do you want to do it as like...
I can
do it small.
Part of your wrap-up, or whichever you want to do.
But you don't have to do it small, Claire.
Well, I want to do it as soon as possible, just because it's
okay.
It's almost not July anymore.
Okay, just do it small then.
You do it right now. See, Pete, what I did to the spoon.
Okay, so whilst we were away on break, in Australia we had NAIDOC Week, which is it's the sorry, I got 2 different like information things in front of me. So NAIDOC Week is an opportunity for everyone to celebrate Aboriginal and Zendikes, i.e. Torres Strait Island, history, culture and achievements. So historically, the National Aborigines and Islanders Day Observance Committee organised NAIDOC Week, and since then the acronym has always been the name for the week itself. Also, should be noted, Aborigines is largely considered an outdated, derogatory term, and it is recommended it's not used. But that's where it came from.
Oh, really?
Yeah. NAIDOC Week runs generally in July. This year it ran from the Sunday the 4th of July to Sunday the 11th of July. Each year, NAIDOC Week grows in stature and depth of celebrations at community, state, and national level.
Do you think they'll ever expand it to like a full month?
Maybe, yeah. Hopefully. That'd be really cool. Like,
I would just like for one Black History Month to be like, a full month.
Like an actual full month.
Yeah, facts.
That'd be sick. Like actual 31 days.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds right. Oh, man. We'd be pulling up. Right? Yo, Black people would be pulling up in Australia in waves. Be like, oh, what?
I would go just for that.
Facts. It'd be like, those Black people got a full month? Oh, nah. Oh, hell.
I'm like, we all got a full month now.
We all Australian this month.
Mitch,
Black how y'all doing down under? I need to go to the Dunny.
Mitch,
we all Australian this month.
Black people ain't shit, because that's exactly what would
happen.
We would all go down there. And I know a damn thing about what's going down there. I'd be like,
Sorry if I offend anybody. I have no idea how to actually be Australian or Indigenous Australian.
Honestly, the Aboriginal people are probably, how sometimes Black people are like, I don't want to explain it to you, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's their business, and that's fair. Aboriginal people are so, always want to explain it to you. They want you to learn. They're so, nice to us. I have no idea why, but they are the most, open people. So, if you, especially, a lot of the elders in the community, if you ask them about certain stuff or you want to know it and you are being respectful and genuinely have an interest and not being a dickhead, obviously, they'll sit you down and they'll just give you all the history they know. They'll give you whatever you want. They'll answer any questions. They're really beautiful people. They're so... kind, considering what happened, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Excuse
me, sorry. Just a burp right into the microphone. Yeah,
right,
sure.
Yeah.
I'm just getting old.
All this, I
have all this gas in my body. Right? You know what I mean?
I have all this gas in my body.
No, it's just, I'll wrap it. I don't want to gush on them too much, but, they're brilliant people. They're really, and, they deserve whatever they ask for, quite frankly, in my opinion.
Facts. You heard Claire
especially
say it
after
here
everything
first.
that happened to them and how kind they are in response. Their response to it was it should have been angrier, but it's so peaceful. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just I'm really happy with how Australia is going forward with everything too. Because when I was growing up, we didn't really there was NAIDOC Week, but schools didn't celebrate it and stuff like that. Where now they do. And now each school does this thing called Acknowledgement to Country, which I just want to quickly talk about, and then I'll wrap up. Sorry. And I'm going on a little bit, but I'll be quick about it. So acknowledging country is a good step towards reconciliation between the colony of Australia, so non-Indigenous people, and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. By researching and writing an acknowledgement as a non-Indigenous Australian, you're teaching yourself more about the true history of the country you are on. So acknowledgement would be an acknowledgement to country would be I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we live today and pay my respects to their elders past and present. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. So that's one of the most basic ones that you can just say. And schools are doing that in the mornings before assemblies and stuff like that. I think that's just really important. It's just that acknowledgement. I thought about doing it on the podcast, but I feel that'd just be really wordy and a lot. And I'm the only Australian, so I just scratched that idea. That was ages ago too, so I just scratched that idea. But I thought I would also talk about that because I think that's just really nice. And I acknowledge whose land I live on.
I would definitely, when we have more time, I'd definitely like to hear more about this. You know,
yeah.
I think it's really good. I think it's important, and I think it's good when you see people doing well and you want to know how they're doing well, so you can further teach it around. So yeah.
And Claire, I think you said you feel like you bring it up too much, but to be honest with you, I think you bring it up more.
Why your face look like that when you said it?
Because it was a little bit. Because you'd be like, "Yeah, I don't." And I'm just like, to be honest, no. I think it's good that you do, and I think it serves a really righteous purpose.
I don't want to be a voice for Aboriginal people. Or whatever, just because
no one's
that's not my
asking
place.
you for that. No one's asking you for that.
That's why I've been trying to keep it so from the outside, if that makes sense, because that's where I am. But that doesn't mean that I'm not Australian and this isn't Australian history.
Yeah, and I feel
so I'm trying my
advocating.
best to do my
you can
best.
still do that. You're not, and let me be clear, it's you're not the voice. And if you tried to do that shit, I would check you, to be honest. They block over there, I'm block on this side, you'd get checked. But you're not doing that at all. You never do that. You're literally advocating from the space you're coming from, and we need so much of that. It's not, I don't know their struggle personally, but I know what it's like to struggle, and you need those people out there on the other side being like, yo, y'all gotta cut that shit out. And that's where connection forms. That's where you bridge fucking gaps and shit. So I just saying, I think it's always great when you talk about it. You always handle it really well.
Well, I wanted to talk about NAIDOC Week this week just because it's coming to the end of July and I didn't want to miss it too much. We did miss the mark because we were on vacation, but I didn't want to miss the mark for too much. But in the upcoming weeks, I'm definitely going to – I have some really good points on white Australia and the tourism image that we have that just does not reflect the actual country as a country. You know what I mean?
Right.
What Logan was saying about how the PR for Australia is very white focused. And that's just disgusting. So I really wanted to get into that, but I'll leave that for now because obviously we're wrapping up today, but look forward to that in the future.
Woohoo!
I'm
excited. No, that was dope. I'm excited.
No, we're doing really good. All right. Let's wrap this thing up. I love this show. Claire, did you have anything you wanted to leave the people with today?
Just that thank you for listening to me rant about feminism and bullshit. It's very therapeutic coming on here and talking to you guys, so thank you for that. And do hit me up if you have any ideas because I need help. Check out Reddit. Check out all of our socials. Feel free to talk to me. I will respond. I'm sure the guys would do the same. If you're Australian, acknowledge your country. It's not our land, bitches. And just try and stay happy and healthy as best as you can. Drink water. Take that self-care time. Love yourselves. I love you. Have a great week.
Nice.
That was really good. Mitch, you have anything you want to leave the people with?
Nope. Not today.
Really?
Listen, you can figure it out for yourself.
Well, damn.
It's an entire just polarity switch today, ain't it?
Yeah,
I told him Mitch was grumpy today.
Not to be mean. Just
I'm not feeling it. Shit at all.
But you can also listen and you could do what I do for yourself, which is better for you.
Wrap it up yourself.
That's right, Claire. See, Claire been learning. Look at this. How good is that?
When he said you could do what I do for yourself, I was like, wait, listen to the podcast 3 weeks later?
Exactly.
I don't think
exactly.
That's what
it'll go so well.
Don't do that. Listen to the shit when it come out.
That's what you can do for it.
Well, that wasn't shameless at all, but that's how we get down there.
Listen, I have a hard time share. I don't even really share it on my own personals, and I am gonna do that probably next week.
It's funny that you don't actually. What the fuck?
I'll talk to y'all about why I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I have talked to you about why I don't, but it's weird. So it's I want to know what the real numbers are, but we're 14. We're really more than 14 weeks in. It's so weird. our 1 year anniversary will be our 50th episode if we keep doing this every week. Because we missed 2 weeks. Wow. We missed 2 weeks. There's 50 weeks in the 52 weeks in a year, so we missed 2 weeks. So our 50th episode will be our 1 year anniversary. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, look at that shit.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
That'd be crazy though, right?
No, that's gonna be normal.
No, shut up.
Oh my gosh.
It would be so cool.
I need to eat.
Yeah, it'd be cool. But it'd be
anyways,
cool. Just gonna keep
let me wrap this up. But I don't really have a whole lot to say, except that, you know,
oh boy.
I'm not a preacher, and don't come to me for your preacherly advice.
Okay, that was
well, no, because you guys were like, Megan's gonna be a preacher.
Even though this episode's called Preacher Logan,
it's not called Preacher Logan.
It is.
Preacher Logan.
I've said it enough that editing Logan, you can hear me. I see you, boy.
Yeah,
you're gonna make it Preacher Logan.
It won't matter what he names it. The episode's Preacher Logan.
Like, horrible.
It won't matter at this point.
Yeah, because y'all said it like 1,000 times. Oh my god!
This is episode 14, also known as Preacher Logan.
Preacher Logan.
Cool.
Anyways, as always, I want to give gratitude to the people who listen to the show. You guys have been actually listening like faithfully to the show. I know you're listening, and you're keeping
the best.
Yeah, we see you. We appreciate you as always.
Sorry, my bad.
I just want to always give thanks to the people who like. I don't know. That kind of motivates me to make the show better every week and to do more and more with the show. And there will be more that's coming up with the show. So I'll always be on the lookout for that.
We're interesting. I'm so like such a compliment. I'm so flattered.
I mean, I am interesting. But so are you, so I'm so confused.
Anyways.
We're not all arrogant like this.
I know. Anyways, I just wanted to say this is it. This is another episode of the Milk and Toast podcast. I said that so unenthused.
Yeah, it's like you was like the Milk and Toast pie. I was like,
because I was like, it is what it. I'm like, it is what it is. You know what it is. You know what I mean? This has been episode 14. Yeah, you're right. This has been episode 14 of the Milk and Toast podcast.
Milk and Toast podcast.
That's right.
Woo!
Say bye to the people, Claire.
Bye. Have a great week.
Say bye to the people, Mitch.
Johnny from fucking Wild Thornberries. That's what it is.
Oh yes.
You know what? You're right, but I didn't even mean to do that. That's so you're so fucking right.
The second time I was like, oh.
And the second time I was going for more of a high pitched screech thing, but it still was like, and that's like some Donnie shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel so much better now. God, I'm so fucking cool.
You're like life complete. Like,
I'm Donnie. Thank you for that.
I'm Debbie.
I'm your host, Logan.
Respect it.
And this
Logan's Eliza.
Has been really wow. This has been the Milk and Toast podcast, and we're out.
We out.
Bye.
Bye. Also, Logan's definitely
Love
Nigel Thornberry. Like,
oh yeah.
I'm Nigel Thornberry.